We want the light out, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter. I'm turn it off again.
Yeah. Save your battery.
You know.
You know. Okay.
We're just being honest here.
Yeah. Now it's like an episode of Cops, because I knew somebody on Cops.
Did you really?
And her parents are brother and sister. I'm not even joking.
Bless their hearts.
I know. And all their incestuous parts.
Bella Lacrone says, "What are you ladies doing? Sacrificing misogynistic pigs, the Dark Lady." May their blood cleanse the land. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on just briefly.
Okay. Okay.
Because that's crucial. Oh my god, did I take my purse inside?
I bet you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, this pack of cigarettes is empty, so that's canceled.
Rude. You just shove it aside.
I mean, what the fuck did I do? Oh, here's one. They're up on my Bella, we will come get you, honey. We will. Just give us your address and we'll come pick you right on up. We just got back from the hookah bar. Now we're just chilling, having a girls' night, spilling teas and kikis. I definitely think that waiter was some kind of something, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of something.
Yeah. I could smell it in his blood.
You know?
Yeah.
We should totally do a mukbang tomorrow. Though.
Yes. Where do we want to go?
We could do the interview with the mukbang.
Where do we want to go?
You want us to do Taco Bell? Keep it classy.
I thought you were burnt out on Taco Bell.
I mean, I kind of am, but I feel like Taco Bell mukbangs are A, affordable.
Affordable's good. Okay.
B, like you can get a lot of Taco Bell for like $20.
I want to see. Okay.
I mean, we could totally do Indian if you really want, but it's gonna be hard to do like a full-on mukbang.
What if we do like a late breakfast Taco Bell and like a late lunch Indian?
Okay, so late breakfast, like
when they open, because Taco Bell opens at like 10.
But we gotta get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Then let's get up. No, I don't want to get up.
We can go get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee at 11. They're open. They serve coffee all
day long. Do we want to get coffee and then go and get Taco Bell? And then go and get like McDonald's cookies?
I'm so down.
I was joking, but okay.
I'm like so down though.
I want to see. No, I think it would be really funny, but not funny.
I definitely want to at least go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
That's
we can
a
do
ritual.
That. We can do that.
That's our ritual. We always do.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. But I want to see them accidentally give you meat again and watch you go through the drive-thru and have it recorded where you're like, yeah, I think you may have misunderstood me because I think I specifically asked for no meat and this looks like meat and it looks like extra meat.
I was a lot nicer than that.
So would you like to take this back and give me like something that doesn't have
I was so nicer
something
than
that's
that.
had a soul on it?
I was so nicer than that. I was more like, yeah, so I think I asked for no meat and I think there's meat. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it's fine. No worries. Here, why don't you just take this back? I
guess you might have been a little nicer. It's hard for me to express myself as nice. So,
you know. But yeah, like look at all the good mukbangs. They usually have McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's.
Could be a little splurging to Arby's.
You know they have gyros?
Gyro.
Gyros.
No, it's gyro.
I'm an American.
And that means you're wrong, apparently.
I'm an American. This is America.
And it's still a gyro.
I'm sorry, I speak American. I actually had to explain to my friend that so they have like I think they have like turkey or chicken and beef, but they also have the traditional Greek.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell her that's like lamb.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, Arby's doesn't have lamb.
They do for a limited time.
And I'm like, traditional Greek gyros
Yes, thank you.
are lamb.
Yeah.
They might be like a pasteurized processed version of lamb mixed with like maybe roast beef, but like there's definitely lamb
Yeah.
in them because that's how they're traditionally made.
Mary's Little Lamb is in there somewhere.
You know?
Who's watching?
3 people.
Wow. That's kind of fun.
It is late at night.
Well,
I know.
so
This is how great our screen looks.
okay. As you're holding the phone, I can see the little square. That's cute.
I think that's on my steering wheel.
It's lagged a little bit, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bella says that it's 9:40 p.m. where they're at. So they're like 3 hours behind us.
Oh, like California.
Or Oregon or Washington.
So Northern California, basically. You know, California goes up to Canada. Do you know that?
They said Washington.
So
Northern
California. Yeah, because California extends down to Mexico too. That's Baja California.
Washington State is the tip.
That's what I hear.
I love it. My dad actually lives by, I think it's Spokane Valley. It's like up by the like Canadian border.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the tip. It's so green.
Ooh,
all the time.
that sounds nice.
It really, I feel like, doesn't rain as much as like the stereotype of Seattle is.
Uh-huh.
He lives up in the mountains, so there's just like snow all the time.
That sounds kind of nice. You smell wood burning?
No.
I smell like someone's having like a lame attempt to make like a bonfire and all the
It's far
rain.
too wet.
That's what she said. Ah! But no, seriously, I keep smelling like wood burning or something.
I wish we could have a fire. That's something
I
else that we should do
know.
sometime. Is like
Another fire.
yeah.
Defo.
It got so big and voluminous.
Boom. What are you reading? What is it? Is it hate speech?
No
Is it
hate speech.
offensive?
Jennifer Vacha, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, says hi from Chicago.
Hi
Hello,
from
Jennifer.
Indianapolis.
Welcome to Girls Night.
Oh my god.
Hanging out in the back seat.
Yeah. In the dark.
You know, with the spirits and the gargoyles and the sidekicks.
And the carrots.
And the stars and the moon.
Dark sided.
And then Bella Lacrone says, not too Washington is Washington Street. LOL, yes, it rains a lot, but I love it.
I like rain.
I like rain too if I can be home.
Yeah.
Like if I have to be out in the rain, then I'm not a fan.
Like, can you roll up your window a little, by the way? Because it's kind of nipply in here.
Your nipples look like diamonds.
Legit. Girls are in full salute.
I'm just excited that we're having a sleepover.
I know. You're never too old for a sleepover.
Slumber party.
Let's be like 80 and have sleepovers.
Yeah, I was totally.
We could mix Metamucil with tequila.
We were so slow today because like all the crazy rain and then people are on spring break and stuff. And so I was just like, learning a mythical language for no reason.
Yeah.
Just like practicing my
Let's see,
studies.
what was I doing? Because we had patients canceling on us left and right, which was fine. Oh, I made that cake to the boss
Yes.
that she's dead to all of us because she's leaving us, and that's just not acceptable. It was not ran by me. I feel insulted. I feel disrespected. I don't think she has a right to leave. And I wanted her to know that. And then her husband, who's like 6'5" and just a solid chunk of muscle, like snuck into the room and was like, I heard you threaten my wife with a cake. And it made me jump. And then we both laughed about it. But I wasn't expecting him. He just like kind of snuck in there. And I thought he was a patient at first. And my brain processed, you threatened my wife? To which my brain thought, which one? Who's your wife? Because I threaten a lot of people. So, I don't know. But she took it in good humor, definitely.
I'm trying to remember what your Elvish name was.
Awesome.
I can't remember.
Oh no! Look at you breaking your shit, you millennial.
I'm pulling up the Facebook message.
Okie doke. Is that wind hitting the car? Like
that is.
Wow.
Here we go.
Oh my god, look at your foot tattoos. Are you a Buddha? Are you a Buddha? Jasmine, are you a Buddha?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kirolandio is Chelsea.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Neta. Because there's no like word for scar.
Which is I guess because elves are so pretty, they don't scar.
There's just wound, which is Neta.
That works.
I think Neta is like really simplistic compared to like, because like, let me pull up.
It sounds like an exotic fruit.
Neta.
Neta. Like a citrus of a type.
Kirolandia. Kind of reminds me of like Yolandi a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because it's basically like Kiro, like kerosene. Yolandia. Like without the Y. Kirolandia. Landia. Kirolandia. Neta.
Kirolandia Neta.
That's her name in Elvish. Which there's also Kioran, which is another Elvish language. That's like Elvish Latin. And then there's Sindori, which is like the language of the people. So it's like kind of how there's like Old Latin and then like various other languages.
Wow.
It's really cool. But I also translated the rest of the girls from Circle as well. And I shared with them yours too.
I'm offended. That's none of their business. That wasn't your business to give, okay?
Yeah, mine is. And it's interesting because like Sindori is like if you were to take Spanish and Italian and like German and Hindi and like mix them all together because it has like the flow of like Italian or Spanish, but then it kind of has like the guttural like sound,
the harshness of German.
Like German, but it also kind of has like I don't know, like the tonal inflections of Hindi.
Interesting.
Because like mine, like because there's how Spanish has like masculine and feminine versions of the language.
Yeah.
So like flower in Sindori is melas. Which like the masculine version of that would be like melos. Which is what I had.
That just fucking scared me.
Dude, yeah, he jogs every night.
Yeah, but he just happened to be like right at your window. The fuck's wrong with him? Go inside.
He jogs like every night around midnight with his dog. But yeah, mine would be.
I mean, I don't blame him because people are out during the day.
Melas, and then Alfervina means immortal, which is basically the closest translation to ambrosia, because ambrosia was the fruit of the gods.
Gotcha.
And then Hazel's was Ilana Idranil, which Hazel like is a color, but also a type of tree.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't really find a direct translation to the color hazel in
Mhm.
Sindori because it's mythical language.
Also, they're Aryans. They wouldn't have
You
hazel eyes.
know,
It is what it
you
is.
know.
SOCKS.
But they do have a word for great tree,
Uh-huh.
which is Ilana,
Uh-huh.
or the masculine version of Ilano.
Uh-huh.
And then
Ilano sounds like the guy you'd buy your pot from.
you know,
He lives on the corner. His bed is a mattress on the ground. He's got like 3 pit bulls. He plays Xbox most of the time. His cousin's over a lot. His cousin doesn't work, but he helps him sell his pot.
and then redwood, like I couldn't find a direct translation of that either.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find ancient one,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like that's like equivalent kind of to redwood because redwood trees are like Jurassic age,
Uh-huh.
which is Idronial, which I feel like Ilana Idronial sounds badass.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haley's. So apparently Haley is like an English word that translates to a meadow of light.
Oh, how pretty.
Haley. So and then Novak is her last name,
Uh-huh.
and that roughly translates to people not of or stranger.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. So her Elvish name was Centhio, which means garden,
Uh-huh.
and Tharwathil, which means beyond the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Centhio Tharwathil. Which she was like, "Can I just be Centhio now?" And I was like, "Of course you can."
It's a free country. This is America.
Sydney's though is we're like, whoa.
Okay, what's Sydney's?
Okay, so Sydney roughly translates to the river.
Okay.
And Glen roughly translates to like a wooded valley.
Uh-huh.
Which would mean that her name would be Lathiniel, which means child of the river, and Lamadriel, which means child of the valley.
Uh-huh.
So all together.
It almost has an Italian sound to it.
Yeah, and
Just a little bit.
she was like, mine sounds like some ancient spell invocation.
That's cute. So you want to ask me questions about religion?
Yeah.
Okay. And my batshit crazy upbringing?
Yeah.
Okay, what sort of questions
I thought we were going to do the interview over like a month thing, but yeah,
we can do both.
Questions.
I have so much material. I'm not even joking.
My life is just so crazy.
I'm just saying,
so
I'm surprised I'm not more fucked up than I already am.
You know.
You know. What do you want to ask?
Describe your upbringing in one word.
Different.
Different.
Yeah, definitely different.
Yeah, I'm actually in my car now, guys, chatting with a real live snake charming Pentecostal.
Oh yeah. No, I wish. That would be a little interesting.
From the Appalachian.
No. That's hashtag fake news. Hashtag fake news.
I don't know. Now that I'm on the spot, like, you couldn't read Harry Potter.
Yep.
You couldn't have real sleepovers.
Well, that wasn't so much because my mom's religious as much as she was kind of cheap. And just she in herself is odd. So I'm not going to attribute all of that to religion. But it didn't really help her mind. Let's put it that way.
Did you wear jean skirts?
Oh my God. Yes.
Did you really?
Until, I started kind of dressing for myself, and that was about the time I was 12. So basically the way I dress now is just a more evolved version of when I was like 12. And I have no shame in that because I've had pretty kick-ass style for a 12-year-old, I'd like to think.
No.
Aside from like the those ratty fake hair extensions you'd get from Claire's. I loved that. There's probably some pictures somewhere of me with those. I know I got really shitty dread falls from Hot Topic.
Bless.
Yeah. I've got pictures of myself like senior year, which I know that's a little older than 12, but they were cool. They were black and purple, and you know, I was pushing the limits, being rebellious, breaking the law. Because I went to a religious school too.
And you were the only one with a purple background.
Yes, I was. None of the other kids thought it was important, but I was like, fuck, it's the same cost, and purple is my favorite color, so why not?
What do you feel like growing up were like key fundamental values instilled upon you as a child?
Oh God. No pun intended.
Honey, plural.
Right. Well, saying God, any sort of cursing was a big no-no. And cursing could even include words like sucks or butt or poop.
Butt as in ass?
As in like your
or butt
ass.
As in,
No,
yes,
not
but also.
no, not butt as in also, but butt as in your ass.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
And
bottom.
ass was like absolutely
Oh yeah, that's a
unacceptable.
cuss word right there. Yeah. And it's funny because like growing up, my dad would be like,
So
damn
was
it.
poop a
And
cuss word?
yeah, my mom didn't like that word. It was mess, which was again, I wonder if these are her quirks as opposed to like just fundamentalist Christian quirks.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Again, she's different, and I love my mom to death.
She's different.
She legit is.
She pulls up to the scene with her sibling.
I'm too old to know what that is.
Like she got her sunroof back when she pulled up to the scene.
She
I
does
don't know,
like
what
fancy shiny
questions do you
things.
have for me? I feel like if we were kids, like we would never be able to have the sleepover because our parents would like not.
No, because if we were kids, I would actually be secretive about it. And that's the thing, and I think it's kind of a shame. Sometimes I do find myself being a little secretive with things that you don't even really need to be secretive with. But I keep a lot to myself just because I learned at a young age. Keep shit to yourself, basically.
That as a Pentecostal woman, you had to keep silent.
Yes, proud
The
Pentecostal
horrors
woman.
of the Pentecostal cult.
So I actually wouldn't have probably told my mom much about you. I would have just been like, my friend Jasmine, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. And then I would have been completely engrossed in whatever your mom had to talk about, I'm sure. I'm sure I would have thought she was like this magical witchy lady. But yeah, I really wouldn't have told my mom a whole lot of detail. I kind of don't
Can you
know.
imagine like our moms, like you know how like sometimes when
My
you're
mom
kids,
would so try to convert your mom.
you know how like sometimes when you're kids, like your mom is like, well, let me meet their mom before you go
Yeah.
hang out with
Yeah.
them. Because my mom would do that.
Yeah.
Like, because you know
Yeah,
she
your
cared
mom,
about my
your
general
mom probably wouldn't have let you
well-being.
hang out with me if she just saw how like batshit crazy my mom
Well,
can be.
you know, it's like our parents care about our well-being. You know.
I mean, I was the youngest of four, and there's like a 10-year gap between me and my brother, so
I'm like the middle of
I don't think
8.
she would have really given a shit. Like she kind of would have, but she kind of wouldn't have.
I'm like the middle of 8, so I'm like basically the forgotten child. But like my mom was still like, you know, like if I wanted to like ride the bus home with a friend or something, like she was like, well, who's this friend and what are you guys gonna go do? And
yeah, I mean, my mom would like do that to an extent. No, the funniest thing. So funny story. No secret, I love art, and I also love nudity. No lie. And I love nude art.
hashtag RedTube.
Yeah, hashtag RedTube, hashtag UJizz. I've read
hashtag
about those.
Pornhub.
Yeah.
Hashtag XTube.
X hamster.
And just to put it out there, we're not being paid to promote these porn sites.
Yeah.
Or are we?
Dun dun dun. Anyway, so you totally threw me off track there. Oh yeah. So my Christian school did a field trip to the Indie Art Museum. And I was so excited because I just love art. And my mom was just like, absolutely not. There is a full, it's like a 7-foot painting of a naked woman in there, and you're not going to see that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like,
Because Google does.
well, it didn't at that time. I was in like, well, it did, but we didn't have internet. I was in like, I don't know, 5th grade, I want to say, 5th or 6th grade. Or it might have even been junior high. But nonetheless, I mean, she threw a fucking fit. And at this point, my parents were separated. So I ended up just going to my dad, and he was like, yeah, don't tell your mother. I'm like, yeah, I won't. Because my dad was cool as hell. So, yeah, I ended up going, but like, I just kept it totally secret from her. I mean, for fuck's sake, she doesn't even know I have tattoos at all.
Not even your chest tattoo?
Not even my chest tattoo. Because modest is hottest.
Is she not on like your Facebook?
My mom doesn't have internet. She does not get on that. That's like where the devil works, is Facebook.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, which is a good thing. Though I do think.
So tattoos would be a no.
Oh hell yeah.
So I'll just cut off my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, or bandage it like a mummy. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it would just be interesting, like if we had met, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, and like.
Let me think back, because you got to remember, we were different ages 15 years ago. Like we're different ages now.
Yeah.
So for me, would have been like 14.
Oh my god, I'd like 7.
Yeah, let's bump it
No,
up a
I'd be
little
like
bit.
9.
Yeah, let's bump that up a little bit.
Oh, I don't even know. Would we?
Or if it was an alternate universe where we were the same age. Let's put it that way. When we were what? 15, 16, 17? Long in there?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It just like, I just feel like our upbringings were just so different.
I mean, I definitely would have thought you were cool as hell. Especially because, like, oh my god, she's got piercings. I want piercings. Because I didn't even get my ears pierced until I was 14.
Really?
And it was my pillhead sister that did it for me. She actually, she had me at her house, and it was like my 14th birthday. And she had one of those horrible little piercing guns. It looks like a little stapler.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, baby.
yeah. I mean, if you feel my earlobe, because I don't have anything in that bottom lobe, you can actually, if you press hard enough, you can feel the little scar. Like you can feel like the tunnel scar.
The keloid.
Yeah.
kind of
Whereas
deal.
the other ones, and yeah, I got them done at Claire's, they don't have those. But Kim gave me, I think she did give me some Xanax and a beer. And then was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And just like straight up did it.
I pierced my sister's belly button.
See, but here's the thing, like,
and we did it like the Parent Trap version, with like a lemon and like an ice cube and like a fucking needle.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is, you got to remember the age difference. My sister really should have fucking knew better, because if I was 14, she would have been 28. And then, best part of the story, she took me to the mall, and we went to several stores, and she shoplifted me several pairs of earrings. In fact, my heartogram earrings, which are like my favorites, those were ones that she shoplifted. You know, 5-finger discount because we're special, you know.
That's the Pentecostal way.
Now, Kim's not Pentecostal, but she is hardcore Christian. Like, if you say, like, God damn it, she gets mad at you. She'll curse like a sailor, but if you take the Lord's name in vain, yeah, you're going to hell. And one time she went on a rant about sucking dick and anal, and like how it's a sin against God and it's unnatural and blah blah blah. I was like 12 and she's drunk and she's going on this rant. And I'm just like, okay. Really didn't need to hear any of that from you, but okay.
You know.
Like I don't even know what got her on the topic. But I was just like, I think that's when I really realized my sister was fucked up. And it could even be because she's a product of my mom's upbringing that she's fucked up. I mean, the other two are totally normal and fine. A little smart mouth, but you know, that's our family trait.
Sit here and brainstorm and really think about and like put into words like the key differences between like our upbringing.
Open-mindedness,
because like
probably.
obviously they're fundamentally different, but like putting that into words.
Well, it's got to be part of the open-mindedness because my mom, anything she does not understand fully, it scares her and she retreats and she wants to attack it, basically. And I feel like your mom would probably have been a little more open-minded. And by a little bit, I mean a whole lot more open-minded. I wasn't allowed to watch Barney as a kid because
Oh my god, as a kid, I loved Barney. I went
Yeah.
and saw Barney in concert.
yeah, I was not
In
allowed.
Florida.
I wasn't allowed to watch Barney.
I saw Barney in concert in Florida.
Okay, that's really lame. But anyway,
No, it was really fucking cool. There's a home video of me freaking out because I was like
I
basically
want to
meeting.
see
I
it.
was basically meeting a celebrity. Okay,
Did you get his autograph?
I don't remember.
Can dinosaurs even
I
sign
don't
anything?
know. He's like has the little arms, but I had
T-Rexes can't sign
you know those
autographs.
those
Is he a T-Rex?
I think so.
Is that what he's supposed to be?
You know those like tennis shoes that like the heel is like a little higher than the rest of it?
Yeah.
I had Barney versions of those and they would light up.
Wow. Okay, light up shoes back in the 90s were the tits.
Yes, they were, and I had the Barney ones. I also had the Batman ones.
See, I was poor, okay, I wasn't privileged. So I'd have to get lucky and like find a pair at Goodwill. And usually like one would light up and the other wouldn't. So yeah, I can't relate. But no, I wasn't allowed to watch Barney as a child because Barney is a dinosaur. Dinosaurs never existed, and dinosaurs are proof of evolution, which also did not exist. I even got Barney stuff as a Christmas present from people on my dad's side of the family. My mom made me throw them away as soon as we got home.
Lord.
Yeah, traumatizing, right? I'm totally bogarting like all this.
I don't care. Go for it.
But yeah, fun stories from my childhood.
We have peanuts in the house
We do?
and trail mixes.
That chocolate trail mix I was telling you about, that was
It's got like chocolate chips and peanut butter chips and white chocolate chips and raisins.
Your
and
trail
peanuts
mix?
and cashews.
What else you got? You got anything savory?
Savory.
Got like grilled cheese? Will you make me a grilled cheese?
I don't think we have bread or cheese.
Oh, lame. Let's go to Kroger. Or, I don't know.
I don't want to go anywhere.
The scary Walmart down the road is closed by now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
neighborhood marketplace.
Those are
Walmart.
always scary. They put those in scary areas. I should know. I live right behind one.
There's a neighborhood marketplace though, like even in like Fisher.
Really? Because I feel like they only put those in the scary areas. And like,
No.
again, my apartment is literally like right behind one. And I never go there because I'm just. Mhm.
We're
Milk truck
still
just-
waiting for spring too.
Milk truck just arrived.
Dang, big goop girl. Hi.
Do milk. Bitch lasagna.
Put my 1 foot in your vagina.
Put my ass in your asshole. Pleasure you as I will.
Can you open up your cloth?
Show me your vagina.
Bitch lasagna.
Milk truck just arrived.
Ah. I'm so excited to like get Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow and like do a mukbang and then like come back and just like veg out on
Watch
my sectional
Netflix.
couch
Yes.
and Netflix.
Oh my
and
god.
Chill out.
Oh my god. I wonder if Fight Club is on Netflix. Because I can't believe you've never seen Fight Club.
I've never seen it.
You've never. It's really good. You know, if you like stuff about consumerism and capitalism and toxic
don't.
masculinity and tough, you're gonna watch it anyway because it's a
Okay.
classic.
I will.
I made Brianna, I made my 15-year-old niece, well, she was like 14 or 13 at the time, sit and watch it with me. I'm like, you need to watch this movie. It's just a coming of age. You got to watch it, but you can't talk
Yeah, because like when I go in Roll Fight Club, you don't talk
about
about
it. See,
Fight
you
Club.
pay attention. Look at that.
I've heard people say that.
And yeah, man, this is strong. Brad Pitt's in it, and that other guy with the forehead is in it, and Meatloaf, the guy that said he'd
And the
do
dude
anything
with
for
the nose
love.
and the 2 eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that one
and
white guy. That ambiguous white guy.
Tim Burton's ex-wife. What's her name?
And that one chick
No,
with that
seriously,
guy.
what's her name?
I don't know.
It'll come to me.
It's all about consent, right?
Oh my God, don't touch my hair.
You're so exotic.
Where's my rape whistle? I feel I'm scared for my life right now, okay?
I've never felt.
And if I actually had my phone on me, I would so be calling the police.
911. I have an emergency.
And because, you're more exotic, they'd take you away. They'd be like, no, we can't have this. And they'd just take you away. And I'd get the rest of the Fireball to myself.
There's like backwash left.
I don't care. It's still alcohol. It's clean. It's been cleaned because it's alcohol.
It's been clean.
Yes.
By the power of Jesus.
Praise. I would totally turn water into wine if I could. That's a nice talent. That's a good party trick. Actually, that's what he did. It wasn't even like a miracle to benefit anybody. It was have you heard this story? Let me tell you a good Christian story.
Oh, yeah.
So Jesus was at a wedding and they ran out of booze. And someone was like, WTF? How are we going to get like our crunk on if there's no booze? And Jesus was like, stand back, boys. But bam. And he made them into wine. Now, I mean, I don't know if it was as good as Oliver, but, they didn't really have much to choose from back then anyway. So, yeah, that was the water into wine story. No doubt was he was at a wedding. They ran out of booze. He turned water into wine. And I'm not bullshitting you. I promise. Ask me to tell you another Bible story. Seriously.
But Bible stories are so boring.
They're interesting in a way. Okay.
Are they?
So, have you heard of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Well, sodomy is like butt sex, right?
But it's named after Sodom, which makes me wonder how kinky is like Gomorrah-y. Like, what is that?
I don't know.
Like, why didn't Gomorrah get something named after it? Or was it just that dirty? Like, they can't even talk about it.
I don't know. My friend who runs that fox sanctuary has a fox named Gomorrah.
That's awesome. But seriously, like, what sort of sexual deviancy would that be?
I don't know, like scat?
Ew.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Like waterworks?
Maybe.
Upside down?
Though I think, like, okay, this is just me, but, like, I think waterworks wouldn't be so bad, like, if it's in a shower. Because you can just wash that away. But that's about as far as I would go on that. Like, doo-doo and vomit. No. Not for me.
So as a snake charming Pentecostal.
So let me finish telling about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, yeah, so Lot is the dude, and he had a wife, and of course in the Bible, women don't get names, so it's just Lot's wife, as she's referred to in all of it.
Animus Channel says that in the text, Sodom and Gomorrah were not destroyed for homosexuality, but rather for political corruption.
This is my upbringing, and this is the corrupt version of how I learned it. So, like, if we could just be quiet and just listen to my story. So basically, the way I was taught was like, apparently Sodom and Gomorrah were really happening places filled with like gay bars and lots of nice places where you could have brunch, I assume. From the version that I heard. I know, right? Anyway, so as the story goes, long story short, some angels came and they were sexy angels, like sexy dude angels.
Like how a lot of male strippers are named Eros and Apollo.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess.
Have you noticed that?
I don't know a lot of male strippers. I guess I don't get out very often.
Male porn stars. Atlas, Apollo, Eros.
I never pay attention to male porn star names.
Bless your heart.
I know, I'm so pure, right? Like, I could name off like 10 girl porn stars, but like the dudes, we just never pay attention.
Yeah.
That's so sexist.
They're just dime a dozen.
Right? So anyway, back to my story. So basically these angels come to town and they're looking, and this is my drunken interpretation, by the way, so don't expect accuracy. I'm just going by memory. Basically,
lots of butt sex.
No, not yet. That's the best part, but not yet. They come, haha, and they need a place to stay. So Lot's like, yeah, I will let you stay in my home, and I've got my wife and my 2 daughters, blah, blah, blah. And they do. And apparently, the story that I was told, the version that I was told, that like they were so sexy to these gay men, they probably had like body glitter and stuff, that like all the gay men in the town came to the house and they were like, we like those dudes, bring them out, come on, let's engage in crazy sodomy or whatever. And Lot was like, no, these are angels, they're gods, like, and they're like, fuck yeah, they are, bring those out. And Lot's like, here, have my daughters instead, and like put his daughters outside for this mob to like rape if they wanted to. And they're like, no, we're not into that, bring the dudes out. Again, this is the version I was told in my religious school and by my mother. Again, my upbringing's different. So the angels got pissed off or something, and then they're like, well, fuck you guys, we're gonna like make it rain fire and brimstone and blah 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 blah. So and I think there was a thing where like Lot had to find X amount of holy people in the town.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that because there was just like nobody that was righteous. And so he's like, well, best to pack up and GTFO. So there's fire and brimstone raining down. I don't know how scientifically that would happen other than like a volcano or something. But story goes, Lot's wife had lots of gay friends, and she turned back to look at the town one last time, and God turned her into a pillar of salt. Because he's just that rude. So this is the fun part of the story that everybody likes to leave out, because everybody likes to say, I'm not saying this is accurate, but the common conception is God didn't like the gay people, so he destroyed the cities. The part people like to leave out is after this, and this is like 100%, I've actually read that verse and I'm kind of retaining it. Lot went to go live in a cave for a long time with his daughters, and either they intentionally got him drunk or he just happened to get drunk. Anyway, like he committed incest with his daughters. Yet he didn't face any fire and brimstone. So the moral of the story is being gay is not okay and incest is wincest. Do you feel enlightened?
I feel so oppressed. So oppressed.
So that was that story. And then there's, of course, your favorite story of Job. Not Job as it's spelled, but Job. And as you pointed out, he must not have loved his wife because she was there until the end. Which is so sad.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that story before until you told me it.
Yeah, and that was like, the one thing you took away from it was, hey, God didn't take his wife away from her, so he must not have actually loved her. Like, he took all of his cattle and his children and his home. Oh my God, a bunny!
Oh yeah, we got lots.
Aww, a friend for Freya.
You know?
Aww. I want to pet it.
Play with Freya tomorrow.
I want to play with Freya. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah,
I brought her out the other night and it was so cute.
When we were drinking? Because you did. I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
you were having your drunken
spagooter.
And she hardly ate, y'all.
Because, like, oh, look at him go. He's so quick. Oh, look how fluffy he is.
Freya's way prettier.
I didn't realize rabbits were so freaking nocturnal.
They're actually not.
Oh.
They're like omniturnal. They're the most active, actually.
Well, that's because they're busy breeding. You know, they're active.
A female rabbit can actually like gestate every 3 weeks. Like they can create and manifest life every 3 weeks.
See, I was explaining to someone at work like why bunnies are associated with Easter, and she just wasn't getting it. She's like, "Well, doesn't everything reproduce in some way?" And I'm like, "It's different. It's an expression, like
Fuck like rabbits.
fuck like rabbits, breeding like rabbits, reproducing like rabbits. It's
Yeah, every 3 weeks they can have litters of not one but
crazy.
multiple.
Yeah, well, that's a litter. Yeah.
I think a regular litter of rabbits is like, I think 6 to 8
Uh-huh.
babies
Oh,
every 3 weeks.
I want a snake. I know that's completely irrelevant, but I want a snake.
Get a snake.
I will. Once I get the house, I'll get a snake. I'll put it in my witchy room. Wouldn't that be badass?
Yeah. I just think Freya's adorable and she's fluffy.
She
and
is. She's a good
fun,
bunny. She's good.
And she's a big girl.
She is, and she's even bigger. Aw.
And she just like hangs out on my shoulder.
Aw. And she's so soft.
She feels like velvet. Like
She
the
looks like she's got
Velveteen Rabbit.
eyeliner. She's just pretty.
And she's got boots.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh, yeah, we should play. And get brunch. And mukbang. And get Indian food. Maybe we could do a mukbang like in the Indian restaurant. You think they'd mind?
We could do mukbang breakfast.
Yeah, we could do that.
No.
Get those croissants from the
So
Dunkin'
much better than the
Donuts.
English muffin.
They are. They're nice and fluffy. I don't even really like bread or carbs like that, but that was good.
I love carbs.
So floofy. Give me something that had a soul. Like, give me a fatty piece of steak. Where you can just like taste its aura still and drink the blood. The blood is like the best part
I'm literally gonna puke.
because you
Pure
can
bile.
taste like those lipids in there and like the little bit of copper. Like that's the life force.
You're disgusting. My stomach hurts now.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm so oppressed.
You're so oppressed with my carnivore privilege encroaching upon your rights.
This is why you and Pierce would never worked out.
All right. Ew. There's multiple reasons we would have never worked out.
I'm pretty sure that's the only one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally would have hit that, like upside the head
With a brick or a car.
with anything within reach.
What do you feel like you want to know about my upbringing?
Okay, like, did you guys do anything different, like on Christmas? I mean, I know I have like Jewish friends that got me Chinese food. Like, did you guys have a tradition since everything's closed on Christmas?
Actually, we did go eat Chinese food.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We did go eat Chinese food. And we celebrated like winter solstice. We didn't celebrate like Christ.
Right, right.
So we celebrated like the sun,
Mm-hmm.
like the actual sun being reborn. Not like a mythical sun.
Right.
But like the
literal
actual
sun in the sky that you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Being reborn.
And I like the literal interpretations like that because it's something, I don't want to say tangible because you can't actually touch the sun, but it's something observable.
It is.
And I think that's cool.
We had like kind of the whole 12 days thing
Mm-hmm.
where like for 12 days we would get like a small token or a gift.
Oh,
like we
so
would get
kind of like Hanukkah in a
pajamas.
way?
We would get like pajamas and like treats, and we also did the advent calendars.
Oh, cool.
Where we would have like 25 days of chocolates or 25 days of cheese or
Oh, nice.
25 days of like various mint candies.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we do? We had a Yule log.
Oh, cool.
Which was cool. My like some of my older siblings and like the adults in my family would drink glog.
What's that?
It's like a spiced wine that like you cook over the stove, and glog is like an additive to wine, and it makes it really thick, almost like yogurt.
Interesting.
And it's like a warm, spiced kind of like.
Okay, now that makes my tummy hurt, and I feel oppressed. So just stop.
It's really good though.
Stop. That sounds like you're drinking cottage cheese, and that's gross.
You don't like cottage cheese?
No, I don't. And you know why? Well, not only is it just like weird to me and the texture and everything,
So
but
good.
no.
I
Okay.
like the large curds.
Okay. First class, well, one of the first classes I took freshman year was called Disease in the Human Body. And I loved the class. It was really interesting. And it was talking about, like, the first part of that semester was about sexual diseases. And one of the first things we learned about was vaginal cottage cheese discharge that, like, looks straight up like cottage cheese. So I
Yeah.
already didn't like cottage cheese, but after seeing the images on that projector, no. No. Hard pass. Cottage cheese is gross because it's basically curdled milk. No.
It's really good.
No.
Black
No.
pepper
No.
or pineapple.
Nope. That's disgusting too. And I like pineapple on pizza, but that's fucking gross. That's so gross. Why would and I've seen people eat like freaking peaches with cottage cheese, and that's disgusting
My
too.
family ate like a lot of goat around Yule.
Goat's fine. It's not cottage cheese. It's not a vaginal discharge type. It's goat.
We also made like sun cookies.
What's that?
They're basically like a citrus kind of like the ours,
Oh, cool.
but like more with like orange peel, and they were like shaped like suns.
Oh, that's cute.
We made actually this is something that maybe like you did too. We made God's eyes. Like
What's
where you
that?
take like 2 popsicle sticks and form a cross, and then like take a piece of yarn and like twine them through like the limbs of the cross to make like an eye. You see what I'm saying? So like
didn't do that.
this, and then like you take the yarn and like wrap it, twist it, pull it, wrap it, twist it, pull it around like the 4 limbs, and that creates like kind of like a shape like this.
Like a diamond shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can use like different yarns and stuff, and it creates like an eye.
Huh. Yeah, no, didn't do that.
Dark
So
sided.
I know, right? Crafts. Okay, I'm sorry. Crafts is witchcraft. Okay. Okay, so what would you say? Like, how awkward was it when kids would ask you growing up what church you go to? Because that's the interesting thing is I didn't go to church growing up either. My mom thought all churches were very corrupt until she joined her Pentecostal church when I was like 11. Up until that point, she thought churches were corrupt and men weren't fit to lead other men. It was like a God leading men thing.
For a long time, I would just like didn't really understand it, and I would just say like, "Oh, we don't go to church." And then like some people would just be like, "Oh, okay," and other people would be like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean?
And I think maybe it's different too because I went to a religious school.
And
So
I
it
went
was
to a
like,
public school.
yeah. So when it was like, you know,
As I
where
got
do you go to? It wasn't even a do you go to church, but where do you go to church?
right,
And when I was just like,
it was definitely a do
yeah.
you go to church first?
Yeah.
And then some people were where do you go to church? But as I got older, I realized how like kind of judgmental the undertone of that was, and it would be more off-putting. But like as a kid, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, we don't go to church."
So were you like if they were sometimes like, so what church do you go to? Would you be like, church's chicken? Like, you know?
Actually, it's funny because in the neighborhood there was someone who I was really good friends with, and their mom and dad were like very strong Lutheran Christians and like very conservative, but him and I were like cool as cats.
Oh,
like
cool.
we were good friends. But I remember like his parents would not like condone us really hanging out a lot because they thought that my family was, you know, very corrupt and basically like he was going to be in danger hanging out.
Oh, no.
And he was actually like a friend of my older brother's. But like I thought he was really cool.
Yeah.
And so I would always try to hang out with him too. And like they would be playing like Sims.
Oh, fun.
Did you play that as a kid, Sims, or was that dark sided?
Well, by the time Sims came around for me, because you got to remember, I'm an old lady compared to you. You're just a young pup. But by the time Sims really came out, I was in
high school,
maybe junior high school time. And by that time, my parents had already split up. So I was living with my dad, luckily. And he was totally cool about, oh, yeah, you can have a
Sims
TV
came out for me like in like 5th grade or 4th grade.
Yeah, so I would have been like junior high school, thereabouts.
Isn't
But
it crazy? No way.
what?
No, I don't think that math is right.
Okay, well then I didn't get my hands on a copy of The Sims until like junior high school.
Because you're
Let's put
only
it
like,
that way.
what, 6 years older than me?
Dude, no, 5.
Oh my God, one
Oh
whole
my God,
year.
I'm so offended.
Yeah,
I
so
told you,
that math
I'm,
is definitely not right.
well, for sake of argument, at least, yes, I did play The Sims. And yes, I did like to make death chambers for my Sims and kill them so I could have a cemetery.
Did you guys celebrate the 4th of July?
Yes and no. Like my mom, that's one thing about my mom is she was also like anti-nationalism, which I can kind of respect in a way. And like again, some of my best childhood memories were mostly with my dad versus my mom because he really parented me more than my mom because she liked to control, but she also like didn't like to give a shit. So my dad would actually take me close to downtown so we could watch fireworks and things like that. So as far as that went, yeah, we did kind of celebrate 4th of July.
Did you guys not celebrate Halloween?
Oh Lord.
No.
I didn't get to go trick or treating until I was in like 7th or 8th
Did you
grade.
go to haunted houses?
Nope. I didn't go to the Hannah House, which was that big historic one on the south side. I didn't do that until Jess and I lived in our apartment in like 2011. And we went because I really, really, really wanted to go. So here I am, 22 years old, going to a haunted house for the. No, I take that back. I went to a really sucky one. I think it was like Necropolis or something, the one they play up really hardcore, but it's not very good and they just waste your time and everything kind of sucks. I did that in college. I want to say it was like sophomore year, so that would have been
Well, also like the
2010
Hannah
maybe.
House is like a legitimate
Oh, it is.
house
No, it is.
versus Necropolis is a haunted attraction.
Yeah. Which I did like the vibe a lot of the Hannah House, and it was interesting because we were standing in line to go in, and there was like nobody behind us, and I got fucking hit in the back of the head with a walnut from a tree. And Jess was like, "Oh, it just must have fell on you." I'm like, "No, it would have hit the top of my head. It hit the back of my head and hard. I thought someone threw a walnut at me." And I turn around and there was nobody in line behind us. And then we walk, I know. And then we walk up to the house, right? Because we're going in groups of like 4 or 5 people, So like small groups in groups of 2 small groups. And we get up to the house and it's our group's turn. And there's an attendant there at the door that will open the door for you and let you in when it's time because they time everything just so. We get up to the house and get on the porch. They go to open the door and the fucking doorknob falls off. And it took them a good 20-25 minutes to try to get that door open. Like something was dark-sided and did not want me there. Girl. But anyway.
Demons, gargoyles, psychics, the sun, the moon, the stars.
Anyway.
Planets.
I didn't trick or treat. And, my dad worked a lot, so he didn't really have time to drive me around and take me, or he totally would have. And then my mom would have just nagged about it anyway. I didn't go trick or treating until I spent the night with Autumn and our friend Manisha, who's a bitch, and I don't care if she sees this because I'm coming for her if like she ever crosses my path. No, she got drunk and disrespectful in my house, and her guest trashed my place, and I'll hit her so hard it'll make her crooked teeth straight.
What's her?
No, fuck her. But anyway, sorry, pardon my French. Anyway, so we ended up spending the night at Autumn's house, and we were in like junior high, and we went trick-or-treating for the ghetto. Now that was the experience. That was the experience right there, especially because a lot of the houses in her neighborhood are like boarded up and they already look spooky as hell. One of her house, like, it's in one of those neighborhoods where the houses are all on top of hills and they've got like the steps leading up to the house inside of the hill. At the top of the steps, there was an overturned baby carriage, and the house itself was all boarded up. Like it was spooky as all get out. And we ended up getting like a freaking trash bag full of candy because we dumped it out and it made like a little mountain of candy on her mom's dining room table. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, that was my first trick-or-treating experience, was in like either junior high or high school.
I was like a vampire or a cat, like every year,
Yeah,
or a bunny.
I think I was a vampire. I don't remember, and it was before the days
I was
of,
usually like something cute.
yeah, no, I tried to be something always like spoopy, you know. Now, when I lived with my sister and I was 17, I was a bondage fairy. That was cool because I had like the fairy wings and fake eyelashes from like Walgreens that just looked like garbage. And I had my one corset style shirt, which I somehow got away with wearing in my religious school. Don't ask how. And I had like chains around my neck. Like, I got to find the picture because I do have a picture of that. And I was so proud of it because I just thought I just looked like so underage sexy. Yeah. Yeah. And I did get a lot of like creepy dads that would answer the door and give out candy. It's like, I like you. Just like, ew. Only they could help me fly away from you, because wow. Um, yeah, and it was freaking cold. It was about as cold as tonight, if not colder. And by the time I got back to my sister's, my skin was like red just because it was so freaking cold out. But we went through like the whole neighborhood.
Bless your heart.
I know. I loved it. So yeah, I only went trick or treating a handful of times, and it was always like sneaking behind my mom's back.
Did you guys celebrate Memorial Day, President's Day, Labor Day?
Does anybody?
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't work those days, but I don't think. Actually, those greedy bastards, I don't think they give me President's Day off. I really don't. I don't remember, though. They're not important holidays to me. They're not real holidays.
No. Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but I mean, there was nothing really intrinsically, quote, wrong with that one. I mean, it was just the normal, because as a kid, it's just normal, go to school, give Valentines to each other, get some bad for you candy. Though I did always like to get like Lion King style Valentines. That was my favorite thing, was picking them out. With the little cards with the little perforated paper where you'd have to rip them yourself and put them in the envelopes. That's
St. Patrick's.
not so much, because I mean, really, when you think about it, St. Patrick's isn't really a kid holiday or a family holiday. That's just a drinking holiday.
I think it's just a shit.
Well, yeah. But my mom always was like, that's
Veterans
just
Day?
No. I mean, how do you celebrate Veterans Day?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay at home, be a couch potato.
I'm doing that tomorrow. Duh.
I'm so excited for it.
I'm so excited too. We gotta watch American Horror Story or something. Jessica Lange's goals.
I can't really think of any. Like, I feel like there's stuff about like your childhood that like you can't think of, and stuff about mine.
Well, I mean, we can always do like a part 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
12.
12, because there's lots of weird. I don't want to say weird, just different stuff about my childhood.
Okay, what was your first time where you were introduced to tarot cards?
Oh man. Probably my sister's friend Chrissy was reading them at a party, and I always thought Chrissy was cool as hell. Just because she was into a lot of this stuff, and she'd tell me about shadowy creatures she'd see out of the corner of her eyes when she and her husband were first together and their kids were little. And just as frame of reference, like her kids are in their 20s now, which is so weird to me because I babysat those kids.
Ew, it's raining.
We're gonna melt.
Ew.
Ew. Anyway, we'd be trapped in your car. That'd be kind of funny. So I mean, she was really into that sort of stuff, and crystals and auras and that type of stuff.
That
So,
dark side.
Yeah, dark side of stuff. But I remember there was like a party where she was reading tarot cards, but I never got a chance to really get a reading or anything like that. But I really didn't get my first reading until 2012. There was
Damn, that's only like 6 years ago.
I know, that's not a very long time ago. There was a concert here actually at Indy's Jukebox. It's just like a little hole in the wall in Fountain Square. And Assemblage 23 came, which I wouldn't say it's an industrial band because it's like one guy and a synthesizer, but really, really good music. And usually that sort of music doesn't come here ever. In fact, most of the people that were there were people that came here from Cincinnati. And tickets were only $12, whereas in New York, they were at least $50 and the show had sold out completely. This place, there were a couple dozen people. Again, because like the scene's not very strong here in Indy. But anyway, they had it done on All Souls Day. So they also had Ouija boards set up all over the place. And they had one girl there doing tarot readings. And she was a bitch. I wasn't happy with her because I sat down and I'm like, so how do we start? And she was like, well, we start with you giving me $5. Like, how rude.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, well, here's how it is. And by the way, it's $5. She was just like, you're going to give me $5. And I didn't like the reading anyway because it was very vague and just like a no shit, tell me what I don't know. Like, oh, you're having trouble on your job. Well, you just need to be more assertive and then you can get what you want. And it's like, yeah, no shit. That's very vague. But nonetheless, it was kind of encouraging life coaching. So, whatever. And again, it was only a $5 reading. So, and then, yeah, later, my ex and I ended up we went to the Pyramid of Enlightenment. And again, no shade, all tea. The woman there was reading the cards and she was emphatic that September, which I want to say it was like 2015 maybe, I was going to have a baby.
Girl, I was about to say I had someone last year.
Uh-huh.
I had someone which we're on YouTube Live.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna be policing what I say.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll give the details later. But I had the same thing.
Yeah,
where
and
someone was saying that I was going to not only be a mother, but girl, be pregnant.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
really? You see that?
That's so interesting.
Really?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, wow.
Wow, so much wow. But no, and
what a Christmas miracle.
It was also like one of those things that like I already knew that's more or less not gonna happen. And the thing was, it was my ex Jesse and my best friend Robert in the room with me. And Robert just kind of shot me a look like, you don't want to have kids. And then Jess was just like, oh yeah, you're gonna have a baby, blah blah blah. I'm gonna put a baby in you. And it's just like, no, you're really not, unless we ended up spending thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on fertility treatments to have a baby I really don't want to have. No, that's not going to happen. But I didn't correct her because she was just so certain about herself. And yeah, she was not a very good reader. In fact, she grasped at straws on a lot of things. But that still got me interested in it. And then we went to a few psychic fairs and we did get readings that were actually pretty accurate. And then we ended up taking classes.
Last time I went to a psychic fair, the reader I ended up getting like was doing a tarot reading and like used the tarot book that came with her deck of cards.
Oh wow. No, I will say, like when I was doing my readings tonight, I was a little rusty because I've not messed with the tarot deck in months.
Fair.
So there were certain things I had to look up just to double check, but for the most part, if you know it, it just comes naturally to you. It's only 78 cards. And that sounds like a lot, but
it's not.
Especially if you have the visual stimulation, it kind of goes with what it means. You just got to make those associations. So I'm sorry you had to pay money for that.
It was like a flat fee, and you got to go to a bunch of different. I think the psychic fair was like $10 or $15 to attend. And then you could go to as many as you wanted to.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that was at
well, that's your okay.
Thanks guys for watching. Good night.
Bye.